is my slam time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my slam time. Gonna mess up your whole mind. This is my slam time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my slam time. Gonna mess up your whole mind.
Hello, and welcome to another EWA Classic match. I'm joined as always by Taylor Osborne.
Hello.
Oh, you went quiet then. Hello. And we're going to be watching, if you remember, not that many matches ago, we had the final of the ECW Extreme Cruiserweight Wrestling Championship Tournament. And Fun Hinge got involved and kiboshed the match, and then we've had a tag match, well, tornado tag match, where the two finalists took on Fun Hinged and blah blah blah. We've gone down that story route, but now it's time for the rematch of the final. I believe we just added a stipulation where I think Fun Hinged had just been locked out of the arena, honestly, for this one. There was no way we were doing a screw finish twice, so we just got them out the arena story wise somehow. Locked them in a room.
They've locked us in a room, they've put a forklift in front of it, and there's a car on top of the forklift.
And then we detached the room from the building and shipped it off to another country, and then put it in a safe. Yeah, Fun Hinged are not getting involved in this one. That's the bottom line. We're actually going to crown the first ECW champion. Same finalists. When we did the screw finish, we promised these two the match will still be between you two. One of you will still be the first champion. And here we are. So, without further ado, ignore the title of the video in the top left, because that kind of spoils it. But,
way to point it out.
Let's go. Can you hear it? Is it loud enough for you?
I can hear it. Oh,
well, there's a fast start. Yeah, straight into the legs. Oh.
No, we still got commentary, but hey, we can do a better job.
Yep, exactly. We can just ignore them when we talk. So we talked about this before, how the guy who controls World Cruise also got to the final of both inaugural champion tournaments. So our guy to beat. So I think going into this, he was definitely seen as the favourite. But Greg Mysterio, he got to the final in his own right, no slouch. But should be fun. Lots of fast-paced moves already. You can see the difference between watching like the main roster with the bigger boys and then watching ECW. There's a lot of drop kicks and just generally like fast-paced, like flying back elbows and stuff like that. Fast-paced moves as opposed to power moves. He says as they try to scoop slam.
That's it. And at this point too, we got to remember, so like it's sort of like a lot of the learning is sort of going away. People have had enough matches, even dark matches. They're feeling each other out. So like this is where the competition starts getting a little bit more intense.
Nice backstabber. But yeah, definitely. Yeah.
People will be expecting a little more. They know each other's play styles and all of that stuff. It's always fun when it comes to games. The more you wrestle someone, the more the matches become super intense.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. You figure out your opponent and you just learn their style and when to counter them and whatnot. Oh, hip up into a Hurricanrana. Very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Will Cruz says anything you can do.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, anything you can do, I can do better.
Full uppercut.
Yeah. Not even sure what part of Europe he's claiming to be from.
No. Oh, you do it twice.
Oh. Uh-oh. Oh! No, he got it in the end. I thought it was going to be a powerbomb, but a bit on the nose. I mean, literally on the nose of Will Cruz, but a bit on the nose having a guy called Mysterio have a 619, but hey-ho.
No, I know, right?
Oh, he misses the kick out. Gets that without using the resiliency, though.
Very nice. This has been a lot more back and forth than I honestly was expecting. Like,
I mean, Greg Mysterio's got the upper hand by quite some bit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, as you were saying, it's like, Will Cruz would have been the, as we were heading into it, the favourite just on who's got control and all the rest of it. Mm-hmm. Oh, that went nowhere.
Nice, what's it called when you do a spin Jonah moonsault? What's the official name of that?
Corkscrew.
Corkscrew moonsault. Yeah. I really like that move. I feel like either this game or maybe the one before were the first one to introduce that spike Hurricanrana. I really like it.
Yeah, it's been a staple in the games ever since.
I can't remember who started off doing it. Was it like, Oh, okay. I thought we had it then.
Ooh.
Was it like Kalisto or someone that first introduced
I
that to like
think so.
a WWE screen?
I
There's
think
someone
so,
like
yeah.
that. And it's just such a nice move.
And there's a couple of variations of it now. Like you got the full spike, and then you got one that's not as I stand on my head.
Yeah.
Uh,
You sort of go face
Oh,
first instead of top of head first. Yeah.
yeah.
Nice little comeback combination by Mysterio. I'm not sure he needed it yet, but people like to use them as soon as they get them. So.
Yeah, I was sort of 18. I can't remember. There's a lot of things. So like when we're watching the classic matches, as a player, there's some things that I'm like, oh, I forgot you could do that sort of thing. Like,
Ooh.
not as some things just aren't as restrictive. Like the resiliency. That
Nice.
in 19 was more of a move. You had to actually select it, not just it was there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an actual ability you had to put on your character. Not everyone had it. Yeah. Oh, now the ECW rules coming into play. There are no rules in ECW matches, no disqualifications, no countouts. So I wonder where we got that idea from. Oh, he moves out the way of the baseball bat. Oh, hits in the second one.
Oh, yeah. And then gives it to him. Here, this is for you.
Nice. It was an interesting concept, ECW. Like, if we ever considered doing anything like it again, I wouldn't do it as on the nose as calling it ECW, but giving a bunch of cruiserweights a set of rules where they can constantly be bringing ladders and tables into matches is certainly an interesting sort of idea, because like if people get the idea of what we were aiming for, which is basically, hey, every match needs to finish with a stupid spot off a ladder, then, it could be a lot of fun to watch, We didn't really have baseball bats in mind when we did this, I don't think. Oh, right on the bat! Look at that.
Oh, he's got a baseball bat in mind now.
Yeah, he's got like a groove along his head the shape of a baseball bat. Oh, only just raised the shoulder there.
Geez. It's a good thing he's wearing a mask, otherwise everything would be leaking out, I think. Like, that was right on the handle.
Uh-oh. Got him up.
Oh.
Sits down, hooks the leg. That's got to be it then. Will Cruz, first champion. No, kicks out at 1.
No.
Holy cow.
Jeez. And we can't tell because we don't have his angle. It's all like resiliency. Is he hitting the bar? Is he...
Yeah, true. That's one of the beauties of, and one of the main reasons I ask that everyone record is, I mean, the first one is the obvious one, is if someone's recording fails, we've got the other one to fall back on. Oh, has he got him? No. Ooh. But the other one is when we're producing the actual videos, the actual TV show, quote unquote, for YouTube. It's being able to like switch at an opportune moment, so you don't get to see the kick out bars and stuff. So you don't get to know if people have used up their resiliency and whatnot. Like, it just keeps it. Oh, hey up! Shout out to you. Gimmick infringement. By the way, let's talk about this arena. This is the second ECW pay-per-view, Revelations, or Sunday Special as we call them. Very basic arena, except for the steps having fanciness on them. Like, there's not, like, obviously the announce tables always have a bit of design on. You're always going to have a design on the ring apron. Very minimal, this one.
Yeah, I think I went for the minimalistic sort of like absolute with this one.
Yeah, I'd say the only quote unquote unnecessary bit of detail is the steps. Like, the announce tables always have to have something on them. The apron always has to have something on it, but the barricades, blank. The ring mat, blank. Like,
the
so
turnbuckles?
Turnbuckles, blank. It's quite minimalist.
Part of me thinks I got this one done in a rush. Like, I wasn't planning to actually get this done. Like, I know this would have been done about the time that I would have been trying to get a heap of things sort of in the back catalogue sort of thing. Like, we know how it ended up. Like, pulling the curtain back a little bit. By a certain... Like, it got to a point where I had heaps of arenas made. We were just like, what have we got that we haven't used? Oh, I've got this.
Yeah.
We'll use that one next. Like, so I wouldn't be surprised if I just had no inspiration making this one, or I was...
Yeah, this might be the case where we had the name for the show, and then it was like, hey, make an arena, and you didn't really have anything in mind for it, so you just went with what you were feeling at the time. But, you know what? Me saying it's quite a minimalist one isn't a criticism.
It's nice.
I like it.
Oh, I'm completely on board with that. Like, it's like not a lot going on, like you're pointing out, but it is a nice looking sort of arena.
It's very easy to focus on what's happening in the ring when there's nothing written on the turnbuckles or the barricade, or like, it's very easy to just focus more on the match.
And who knows what I've done with the actual arena itself? Like, this is just the ring. Who knows? I might actually have quite a
yeah, the stage might be quite elaborate. Yeah, so
yeah. Which the cool thing is, I did think of something. I've still got all my save files. Like, so if we ever wanted to go back and actually revisit all the arenas sort of thing,
we could fire up 2K18 and have a look at the arena. Yeah, true.
Like, I'll be honest, like, watching these, some of them made me go, I wonder what I did with that.
Yeah.
Actually, to like go back and like, oh, I like that.
I really like the announce tables. I don't know what it is. I think it's just the off-center, bottom right positioned ECW, and then the fact that the main sort of crack, for want of a better term, the main sort of hole, the main pattern is on the left. I think it just balances each other quite nicely. Like, I really like the announce tables. Yeah. And again, the ring apron matches where the ECW is off to the right hand side. Usually, you either centre align or left align. But the fact that you've like right aligned it's become almost like a theme. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it's almost a theme of the arena.
No, I'll be honest, it possibly was intentional to a point. I'll say possible because I have no idea what was going through my mind.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, before we started the video, we were sort of staring at it and we see the ring apron. Little bits and pieces that were, back when I made this, I probably didn't notice and I was probably really happy with it. Now I sort of like, there's parts I'm looking at it, it's like, oh, I could have done that better. And it's nothing more than just the colouring of the red. It's sort of like, when we were looking at it, it was like, why haven't I faded that a little bit more to match the cracking?
I like it though, because it sort of stands out and makes the cracking kind of a background and the revelations stand out. It works either way. If you'd have blended it in, I'd be saying, oh, it's nice that it's all the same colour and it fits in and blah, blah, blah. But the way it is, it still works. Another good kick out by Greg Mysterio.
It's very nice. Like, I think we've mentioned it before.
Oh.
So like, I've got it hypercritical of myself when it comes to arenas, and that looks like it would have broken like something.
Yeah.
Oh,
everything.
Nice spinning elbow thing of doom.
Tell you what, we need to have a word. I mean, we don't need to have a word because he's not still about, but we need to have a word with Greg Mysterio about having an NXT and WWE logo on his attire.
Oh, I've been ignoring that.
I've been trying to, but it's just constantly there.
No, it's like this. I love watching these early matches because it's like we got the commentary on, like some of the things that people are doing in the match that if they did now, this match wouldn't have seen daylight. Just like you're stomp baited. To
be fair, stomp baited. I don't know if you noticed, Will Cruz has had a perfect answer for stomp bait, and he's got that spinning back kick that's super fast. He gets up and he hits that, and every time it's worked out for him. So there was always a counter, it's just, it was easy to just not have to have that move on everyone. Here we go, is this the one? Yep, there we go. Yes. New champion on about the 15th finisher. Oh god, that ended quick.
Oh, jeez.
Right, hang on. There. There we go. That was quick.
That on a dime.
Like a second.
Match is over.
But,
look at the time, you paused it dead on, it's not even a second.
Yeah, it was already, like, it's like a tenth of a second left and it's like already gone. But, yeah, so, like you say, we were talking about the fact, like, style differences, we don't allow the stomp baiting anymore. Which, interestingly, isn't really a factor in 2K22, but I don't know how you feel about it, because we haven't really had a full management discussion about it, but when it was briefly brought up, I said, yeah, but let's keep it because it looks rubbish. Like, as much as the unfair advantage for the gaming side of it, I'm always looking at this from a production side, and for me, stomp baiting always just look rubbish because the counter is no matter what move you just took, someone tries to stop you and you just stand up, and it looks rubbish. It looks awful, like to me.
From my experience so far in dark matches with our big group, like I haven't wrestled some of the new guys and all the rest of it. But the beauty of it is we've been going for so long now with the mentality and the mindsets and all the rest of it. That's carried on. Like, even though it's not an issue anymore as far as it's stomp bait, people aren't just running up and just going, I'm going to do 10 stomps now. It's just not happening.
At the end of the day, it's still a rule.
Amazing.
Even if they can make an argument now that it doesn't make sense, it's still one of our rules. And honestly, now the reason has just transitioned. They can be like, oh yeah, but you don't get an unfair advantage anymore. And we just be like, yeah, but aesthetically, as a wrestling match, it looks rubbish. So no, we're still not doing it. Like, no.
The game's forcing us to put our jackasses hats on a little bit more, and I'm using a nicer word than what I actually was going to initially say. Where it's all like, we watch a match, it's like, that ain't happening. Oh, but no, I don't care. Not happening. That's that simple.
We have a very, very short rule list in EWA, so, people can't really complain. You've got too many rules. It's like, we've got 2. I'm pretty sure we've got 2 rules and, like, 5 banned moves.
I think it's 3 now because of the kip-up. I thought
that was rule number 2.
That could be rule number 2. It's been so long since the match.
I thought we only had stomp baiting, didn't we? And then some banned moves.
Yeah. And the banned moves are sort of like mainly because they're comical than anything else.
There's 2 types. There's the ones that are stupid, unrealistic, like where they knock them up in the air like you play in WWE Battlegrounds. And then there's the other type where there's a few moves where it's like a low blow or something that would normally get you disqualified, but for some reason doesn't. So it's like, so we just allow low blows, do we now? You know what I mean? So just for
Shattered Dreams.
Shattered Dreams, exactly. Just for consistency, because we could say you can only hit those moves if the referee's down, but oh my god, we're just gonna have loads of matches where people are running around trying to hit the referee and stuff, and it's just, you know what I mean? I'm just sort of thinking it's easier to just ban them and maybe on occasion allow it. Like maybe there's a storyline down the line where someone keeps doing low blows, like the actual low blow that can get you disqualified, and sometimes they get away with it and win the match rudely, sometimes they get DQ'd, and blah blah, and maybe it leads to a no DQ match, and we say to the opponent, hey, you can have Shattered Dreams because I'd love to see you just Rochambeau that guy, because it's kind of like a good payoff to that story, but you can only have it for this match, kind of thing. And then it could be fun because it's a no DQ match, so they're allowed to use it, and and it could feed into a really nice story. But beyond that, it's just easier. If a move would get you DQ'd in real wrestling, but for some reason doesn't in WWE 2K, it's just easier to ban it, isn't it? Like, than try and make a bunch of situations where you're allowed to use it.
I think it's because things like Shattered Dreams, it was always one of the, even when Goldust was using that move, it was sort of weird because there were points that he wasn't getting DQ'd and it was blatant he was using it.
I think it was like the Dudley double team head drop. You'd nearly always have the referee distracted. Like, I think Marlena used to distract the ref a lot for Goldust to do Shattered Dreams, and like the Dudleys, it was always their opponent was trying to get in the ring and they'd hit the headbutt to the groin. Like there was always like something keeping the referee from DQing. Whereas in 2K, we don't have that. The referee's just standing there staring at him, kick him square in the balls, and goes, yeah, that seemed fine. I think that was the inside of the leg.
To be fair, the 2K referees, even with
awful.
The new game, there's some things that they do, and you just sort of sit there and you blink and you're like, what was that?
I've thought of another situation where it'd be really fun, is if we had a one where a wrestler kept knocking the referee down, like, intentionally. Like, in the payoff match with the opponent, it'd be really funny if the referee just blatantly ignored her Shattered Dreams. We're just like, yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm not disqualifying you. It'd be really funny then, wouldn't it?
I wish we could do guest referees, because I'd create a referee call and have the referee give you Shattered Dreams.
Yeah. If you could do special referee, I would be like saying, let's do a referee training seminar and always have a special referee. Like, take the AI out of it completely. Like it'd be always have no, you need a referee for your match. Like, we're not doing an AI ref. They're idiots.
We'd end up with someone that thinks they could just be that heel referee as always siding with. It's like, no.
And then we're just like, right, well, you're not refereeing again. The end.
Here's your pink slip. Go back to the locker room.
I wouldn't even create an actual wrestler for the league. I'd just create a referee and be like, I'll be the referee for as many matches as I can get into. I'll do it. I'll be a full-time ref. It's fine. It'd be great fun.
Why not?
Yeah. But anyway, we've got a bit off the beaten track. Congratulations to ECW champion Will Cruz, first ever. Finally crowned, 2 pay-per-views in. No shenanigans from Fun Edge. We should very briefly talk about what happened between the last ECW title match and this one. So I think we uploaded the tag match with I think it was Taylor and Mikey? No, Psycho Mike. Was it Psycho Mike or was it Miles? I can't remember which Fun Hinge member. I think it was me, right? It was Psycho
it was
Mike.
Miles. No, if it was the one where we all turned on.
No, not that one. The fallout from the match. It was Psycho Mike and Taylor against Will Cruz and Greg Mysterio.
Yes,
because we were the two that interfered in the final. So then the next ECW was like they got their chance at revenge and they beat us. And then I was reading through the Facebook group, looking for the next match to do and stuff. I know there was a week where we all had cage matches. I think it was Dylan Dorman, the GM. Will Cruz and Greg Mysterio individually had cage matches against Taylor, Miles, and Psycho Mike. So there was a lot of like them versus us, but it was still going to come down to Will Cruz versus Greg Mysterio. So it was a fun little story where it was like a really logical odd bedfellows situation. Like sometimes they don't make a lot of sense. It's just like, to test you, we're putting you in a team with each other. Like when John Cena and Shawn Michaels were tag team champions, that kind of situation. Whereas this one, it was really the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of situation, where it's like, well, we both have this issue called Fun Hinged, so let's team up for now, and then we'll fight it out for the title once we've dealt with them, and I thought it was a really good little story.
Oh yeah, because that issue was quite happy to put a baseball bat upside their head when they turned around, so yeah, deal with the issue.
Yes. Yeah, it was one of those where if we keep fighting, they're just going to keep blindsiding us. So we stand facing them for now, side by side, and then we'll fight once we've dealt with them. And it was a good storyline, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, no, we really did structure that storyline well. Because we did. It was one of the first times we actually sat down. We had a beginning, we had the middle, we had the end game all planned out, and then we sort of had this match was the payoff for them, sort of thing. Like this was their end game. I'm pretty sure at Revelations we had a Dylan versus Taylor match.
Yeah, I think so.
Which was, of course, the end game to that bit of the feud and all the rest of it. Because I think this pay-per-view or, special, I think this is where we actually wrapped up a bit of that storyline. We started moving on to different things.
Yeah.
Or trying to anyway.
Yeah, it's one of those where I think there's sort of mentality sometimes. I think it comes from watching too much WWE, where once a storyline is officially finished and the two wrestlers involved have moved on to new opponents, that's it. It's done. It's never mentioned again. Whereas, there would still be animosity between Taylor and Dylan Dorman, or between Will Cruz and Fun Hinged, or between Greg Mysterio and Fun Hinged, if they cross paths, but they just weren't each other's main path anymore. They were just like... Yeah, but you don't just magically forget about it all either.
No, I think we sort of... I can't remember, because it's so long ago. And the problem is we'll cover it probably in a video or two's time sort of thing. The shelf life for ECW gets abruptly cut short for us. So I can't remember exactly the groundwork we had completely laid out, but it's sort of like... construction of it all had to end abruptly, same with some of the main storylines that we had,
and it honestly mostly boiled down to the fact that everyone in ECW had a main roster wrestler. Not everyone on the main roster had an ECW wrestler. It was a smaller roster in ECW, both physically but also numerically. I think it just got to the point where, because we were concurrently putting the match cards up, and it was just a bit much for some people to be getting 2 matches a week done with time zone differences, and sometimes it being 4 or 6 man matches. It can be difficult to organise a time, and it doesn't sound a lot getting 2 matches done a week, but when you take all those differences into consideration, that you could have a 6 man match and all 6 people that are controlling those wrestlers are in different time zones. And then, even if they're in the same time zone, one of them works nights and one of them works during the day. And, and it just becomes this big old mess, that can be quite hard to navigate. And I think just 2 a week was too much for a lot of people. There's a few that could get it done. There's a few people in EWA that clearly don't, have a full-time job, don't have a lot of other commitments, like children to take care of, or, stuff like that. And they just basically, whenever someone tries to organise a match, I can do that time. And you're like, that's great. We love the availability, but not everyone has that. So there's only maybe a handful of people that could handle 2 wrestlers on the regular. And we realised that really quickly, I think.
Oh yeah,
It's
and the other
looks
big
like a
problem we
limited
had.
number.
Well, the other major problem we had with ECW, as far as we had to just pull the pin, was the person who was meant to be in charge of it just kept dropping the ball, and you and I were the one having to pick it up to get the cards together, to get this, get that, and we were trying to get main roster stuff done, and the split workload turned into a not split workload, and mess happened behind the scenes and that, and
it turned into why
like,
Vince Russo left WWF. Vince McMahon said, "Hey, we're going to be doing SmackDown now," and he went, "Nope, that's double the work, thank you." It turned into that basically, didn't it? Yeah, nope, that's double the work.
Yeah.
But we didn't leave. We just cancelled SmackDown.
Yeah, basically. Well, I think also it was a lot of the factors you were saying. We looked at it. So like, the roster was getting smaller at that point as far as people that were able to just get stuff done regularly. And I think I can't even remember how small the roster was. It was sort of like that.
The ECW roster was like 6 to 8 people.
Yeah.
I think another thing was we were like the idea was to grow the roster over time, and when it didn't grow that substantially, we were like, we're gonna get to the point pretty soon where we've done everything. Like,
and it started to shrink by memory too. Like we started to lose a few people.
Yeah, but I think we might have gained a couple as well. I think it stayed floating around that level, but the point was still like, we're gonna run out of unique matches soon, where everyone is feuded with everyone. Like, it's gonna become an issue. So it just became, for 3, 4, maybe even 5 reasons, it became easier to just be like, let's just shelve ECW. We can always come back to that idea if we decide to, but right now, don't feel like it's right for us, you know. So
we kept the important factor out of it anyway.
I don't remember keeping Will Cruz.
No. Oh. Oh. Right in the field.
I had to.
Yeah, the shot needed to be taken.
Yeah. Honestly, unironically, all joking aside, Taylor Osborne and Funhinged as a concept is probably the best thing that came out of ECW. If we hadn't have done ECW, as much as we don't look back on it super fondly as a time in EWA, if we hadn't have done that, all of that may not have happened.
The whole... I'll be honest, I've got to give a lot of... if I ever sit there and start, doing that whole... How did the idea and the concept, not just the gimmick and the wrestler, the whole channel, the streams, everything that I do under the Funhinged banner, it all sort of boils back down to ECW is running, and an idea happened, and it just grew so massively from there. Like, I can't wait till we get towards where we see the big change from OG Taylor to like that match we will be seeing on the Classic, because not just it's brilliant to sort of see the change, but there is a bit of a history moment to it.
Yes.
But yeah, it's it all boils down to what you're seeing here. Like, this is the birth of the loud, colourful puppet that everyone knows and loves.
Yeah. Although not necessarily in this match. Once again, off the beaten track, but that's what we do here. You guys must be used to it by now. But yeah, so it's worth pointing out, the same guy won the inaugural EWA Championship and ECW Championship in terms of the same player. So GG to him. Like, clearly we've talked about this in previous videos, but clearly our best player at this point. The interesting thing is, at this point, Payne has debuted, who is a lot of people's modern day contender for our best guy. So I don't know if they clashed. If they clashed at all, though, we're probably going to feature it, even if it's just a throwaway match on weekly TV, because I just want to see how it plays out, honestly.
Same.
Yeah, but I don't feel like this guy lasted a whole long time. Like, I don't know how long it was, but I'm fairly sure he wasn't on 2K19. So
he was one of the ones, unfortunately, lost due to time restraints.
Yeah.
As you were pointing out, the commitments
that
go into just doing this just on even a weekly standstill. So it can get a lot.
We may never have seen that match, but if we did, if it's on any match card, we'll be featuring it, because I'm just curious. But yeah, the overall theme going forward, we've been talking about this while we were trying to find out what match to do. Obviously, this was a title match. We've got major storyline beats, like, storyline blow-offs, where we can talk about the story during the video and then while we're watching the blow-off match. title changes, debuts of people that are still around, that sort of thing. That's the main thing we're going to be covering now. Because all being well, we're getting, what, a month and a half from debut now? You know, we're not that far out. Like, there's still a lot of episodes if we're uploading daily, which obviously we haven't been doing, but there's a lot of episodes we have the potential to fit in. So we can get a lot of time covered.
We should be on 2K19
easily.
Sooner than later, easily, at this point.
Yeah, we're just going to be covering main storyline beats and main events that happen. Even if it's not a title change, I think most EWA title matches and roulette and tag title and ECW, I think we're going to include most of the title matches because as much as a title change is considered super important, the defenses are as well, because a title change only means a lot if it's been defended beforehand, you know, like otherwise it's just like, oh, you won the title but then you lost it straight away. It's not as big a thing, you know, so it's yeah, we'll feature a lot of title matches, storyline blow-offs and debuts. That's our main shtick now, in terms of classic matches.
That's it.
There we go. But unless you've got anything to add, I think we can finish there.
Oh, that's it.
There we go then. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe so you get to see more. And still tentatively looking at June 1st as the debut date. However, 2K still haven't actually blessed us with the gift of custom arenas online. So we're either going to have to come up with an alternative, or if a date is announced, a delay. We do have something in mind as an alternative. So yeah, there's a possibility. I'd say there's an equal possibility it's still going to be 1st of June, or it's going to be slightly delayed, and it all depends on whether or not 2K make any announcements in the next couple of weeks, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, if they start making announcements like, oh yeah, we're going to be switching this on by X date, then we're going to have something to think about. We're going to be like, well, could we not just push it back? Whereas if there's no announcement, we're like, well, we're going in kind of blind here, so we should just get started. You know, I think that's how we're leaning, really, isn't it? But yeah, subscribe so you don't miss the start of EWA proper. Don't miss any future classic matches and all the other tailor-mades and what's the other series? Just introducing the characters. We're going to start doing that soon as well, and that are going to be in 2K22. So that'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, definitely subscribe.
Can't we? Yeah.
Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Comment down below what you thought of this match and just this series in general. You know, any thoughts on EWA, basically, stick them in the comments. You know, get them out your system. Let us know what they are. But for now, I think we're pretty much done. So we'll see you next time.
Bye.